Hello and welcome back for another tutorial. Today I will show you how to create a ruffled edge or a frill on a double bed knitting machine. In next week's video I will show you a few ways that you can use this design to create frills for your future projects. For this sample I will cast on 40 stitches. Begin with a full needle cast on. Make sure that your machine is in H position or half pitch. Your machine might be different than mine, I am using a brother. Knit one row and then insert a comb, attach the weights and then knit a few rows in waste yarn. Then, knit 3 rows on main bed only. We will have to put the rear carriage cams into PR position. After knitting the 3 rows on main bed only, knit 1 row on all needles. The cams on the rear bed carriage will go back into end position. Cancel the waste yarn and then drop the stitches on the main bed before threading your main yarn. You can do that by either putting your rear carriage cams into PR position or you can just go across with your main carriage. It is time to knit a cast on row with the main yarn. Put the rear carriage cams back into end position and knit 1 row full needle. Now you have to knit 3 rows circular. To do that, you have to press one of the partial cams on the main carriage and put one of the cams on the rear carriage into PR position. If you press the left partial cam on the main bed, then you have to put the right one into PR position on the rear. You can choose to do it the other way around. I prefer to do it this way every time, as it is easier to knit 2 rows on the main bed and then 1 row on the rear bed than the other way around. Will complete my cast on edge with 1 row full needle. After knitting this 1 row, prepare to start tucking. There are 2 cams for tuck on your main carriage. If you press one of these cams, all needles will tuck. If you press the right one, it will tuck all needles when you knit from left to right. To do the same on the rear bed, you have to put this little knob here into P position, then put one of the cams into PR position. Just as on your main bed, the direction in which you will tuck, it will depend on the cam you put into PR position. You have to do this the same way you knitted your circular. If you press the left tuck cam on your main carriage, you have to put the right cam on the rear carriage into PR position or the other way around. Having them in the same direction will create a complete disaster. What happens when you tuck is that the needles are not completing knitting the stitch and the yarn just lays onto the needles. This is what will create the volume. One thing you have to consider here is that when you knit 2 rows across, you actually knit just 1 row in reality, so you have to keep that in mind when you're doing your calculations. So if my edge is 10 rows, I have to knit 20 rows actually to get the 10 rows. Knit how many rows you want, and now you can choose to start your garment or you can use this frill in a different way. I will go into 1 by 1 ribs so my frill is even more dramatic. I am planning to attach this onto something else. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week for another video where you can see how I use this to make a frilly design.